My name's Adam Jaffer from Care First UK Recruitment Solutions. So we're like a permanent recruitment company in the healthcare sector. And we recently were awarded Family Business of the Year in, I believe, the Dorset Regional Awards with yourselves, so with Business Awards UK. So that's why I'm here today for an interview, to explain a little bit more about us.
Could you provide a brief description history of Care First UK Recruitment Solutions?
Yeah, so obviously, as I mentioned, we're a family business. Okay, Care First started in, I believe it was November 2015. It was myself and my dad. Okay, to give you a bit of a history, obviously we've run it for many years, but my dad, unfortunately, he passed away recently, March time this year. So it's very much, carrying on the legacy, but obviously as a business, we specialize in the healthcare sector, specializing in just permanent recruitment. And I guess over the years, we've grown from just starting with a couple of care homes to really broadening our horizons in learning disabilities, some special needs schools, domiciliary care, private sector. But there's always opportunity to grow further. And, and I believe there are certain things we've done pretty well to hopefully today to be able to win this award. So, we thought hard about how we wanted to run the business and achieve things. So, so that's a little bit of a background, really.
What would you say is the biggest challenge you've overcome as partner of Care First UK Recruitment Solutions?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good question. And to be honest, I think there's been a few little challenges, I would say. So I will mention them. Obviously, you can appreciate 2020 kind of time, COVID time. As a business, of course, it was a challenge. I think I'll be honest with you, the biggest challenge was, when everybody had to not be in an office and we had to work from home when it was all compulsory. I'll be honest, we're only a small team of 5 or 6, let's say at most. And the nature of what we do, we love to bounce ideas off each other, just run things by each other. So that's why an office environment really helps. It's not that we can't do our job from home, and we had to for probably about 4 months, but it was a challenge. Our sales 100% dropped, but no, not drastically by any means, but when everybody eventually did come back to the office, they appreciated, I guess they appreciated more what they'd missed. I'm not saying every industry is like that, and in today's world, there's loads of hybrid working or working from home, but I'd say the nature of what we do, it was harder for sure, and that was a challenge. Plus, lots of other challenges of COVID, so it was definitely a challenge as a business owner. Lots of uncertainty, but we got through that, and very grateful, to lots of people for that. So, obviously, I've touched upon it, big challenge for me, obviously, very suddenly losing my dad this year. So partly because, again, I'm talking business related. He'd been in recruitment 30 odd years. Amazing at what he did, real role model for anyone, not just because he's my dad, but his achievements, and this is partly one of the reasons why I entered this awards, because we've never done anything like this before, and I kind of wanted to try and honor him in some way as well, and say, look, Care First wouldn't be around without him. Of course, I've been a part of that, but he was a real driving force in that. And lots of people got amazing words to say about him. So we're just trying to navigate through all of that, and as you touched upon, build on his legacy now. I'd say those are probably the biggest two. I've had others, but those are probably the biggest two challenges, I would say. But we're getting there, so it's all positive, and hopefully this will help as well.
What would you attribute as the main reason for your business's success?
Yeah, so I would say obviously recruitment, it's a big area, it's a big field, it's always a big talking point. You can imagine challenges, not everybody says they want to do it themselves, or they don't want to pay recruitment fees, but equally I would say, so it's not that I'd say we've just tried to simplify it as a business for ourselves, and we've tailored it towards the care sector, because one of the key things when we started Care First was we didn't want to build a business where we said, oh, we do healthcare and IT and hospitality, and as some companies do, because it takes away that niche speciality almost. I'm not saying people will run successful businesses, but I wanted to specialize. Okay. I haven't touched upon it, but me and Dad have been in the care sector for probably about 15 years. We were at provider level, so we knew we could very much relate from day one, the challenges at a provider level, a client level, okay, and then we wanted to fix that problem, whatever they needed. I would say a key selling point for us is we built something, it's a very simple concept called Recruitment Days. I have to explain it to people because it's not where you go to a hotel and interview everybody. That's for the immediate reaction. It's very much, we just organize the interviews at the client's site, okay? But how can I say, rather than, let's say, send a CV, get an interview, do it like that, takes a bit longer, okay? Time frames, people's holidays, whatever, it's a bit slower. We basically say to clients, let's say they've got, 5 vacancies, okay? I would say, right, next week, give me a week or so, next Wednesday, I'll try and line up 10 people in one day for you to interview, every 45 minutes apart, kind of thing. Great for managers because they can block out some time. And what we say is you interview all these people and then make a decision by the following day. Okay, it's not a one-stop shop where it says, okay, once you've done one, that's it. Okay, we can do that continuously. But why it works and our success with that, which is, I believe, is a real testament, is on average, anywhere between 3 to 5 offers in one day. Okay, the best example I could give you, me personally, I had a project in Cornwall, which I thought the minute I got it, I was like, this is going to be really hard. So we're going to you always have to work hard anyway, because you always get the challenging ones. But they had 10 vacancies, and I thought, it was a real success for us. We filled that in 2 weeks, and somebody else had been doing it for 4 months. And may have filled 1 or 2 vacancies. Now, I'm not saying it always works like that, because this is life and people, and people will let you down. And we always explain to people, look, it's our job to make sure people turn up, but people won't always turn up, or they cancel last minute. But when it's a numbers game, you've always got a chance. You know what I mean? So that for me is a massive selling point. But lastly, I would say it's the honesty, the personal touch with everybody I work with and Dad works with, and I've instilled it in the team. You build that relationship first, okay? I've always believed in life, it's always about, it's the same in recruitment, I'm telling you. It's like, if you feel valued by somebody, appreciated, it's about building that relationship where, you feel. We try and make it so that Care First is almost like an extension. They don't think of us as the recruitment company. They just think we're part of their company, if you know what I mean. So, as an extra level of support, so we can talk about problems. If something's not working, we find a solution, and it's all about working together. It's that personal relationship. And then, little things like, being willing to ring people after office hours, 8 o'clock at night, to get hold of candidates. It's about going the extra mile, which, because I'd say in recruitment, there's and I'm not saying this to badmouth companies, but like you hear it from clients sometimes. There are probably companies out there that, you know, promise the world, don't deliver, or send rubbish, and they don't build that relationship. It's always like, you know, oh yeah, I just want to make my commission. We're not about that. You know, we want to feel part of something with clients. So these are just little things that I think, you know, and I would argue, like today with this award, you know, it's because as much as we work hard, you know, you can see it's what clients believe in us, you know, and what they say about us, that hopefully has, you know, has helped us to win this. Because even though it's been a really challenging time, and you can imagine there's been a lot of shock and upset, and, you know, and I'm telling you, real shock, because all I can say from a business point of view is, you know, the week before it happened, you know, my dad would have been talking to these people, and, you know, it wasn't apparent by any means, so it came as a real shock to everybody. So that's a lot of things, but those are the main things: building strong relationships, being honest and truthful, you know, obviously the package of recruitment days, the personal touch, the going the extra mile, you know, and obviously knowledge of the industry, I would say. You know, we can I always believe also in recruitment, it's, yes, you can recruit in probably any sector and learn a sector, but it's you know, I always tell people you've got to be passionate about the care sector and passionate about what you're recruiting for, because I think deep down you'll succeed even more when you're like that, you know. Me personally, you know, that I know there are certain sectors that I would struggle to recruit in because I haven't got the same level of passion as what I have for care, you know what I mean? So
Since winning that award, how would you say has that affected your business both internally and externally?
Well, I think definitely internally with like the team, it's definitely given people a buzz. I mean, it's definitely given me a massive buzz. I couldn't thank Business Awards UK enough. I was probably pestering them too much to say. It was very pleasant surprise, and, you know, because you got to imagine, I mean, we've never done this before. We're only small, you know. Obviously, I don't need to know, but obviously there would have been other contenders and things like that. And then, you know, it's a special moment with my dad's legacy, so that's why I probably want some feedback. Really, anything I can get. But, you know, when I told people, they were like, oh, you know, this is really good, and, you know, we were very unassuming about it. So now, you know, it's given us a buzz. You know, we obviously, the little things you've done, like we've changed our email signatures, and, you know, we can just tell people, you know, we're an award-winning company. It just sounds nice, doesn't it? And, you know, and we're just trying to put our name out there a bit more, you know. Certainly with like our the LinkedIn post I did, you know, I just had a few people like message me that it's fitting you win something like that, and then they start messaging you, don't they? But people I haven't heard of, spoken to in years, but even other professionals in our sector that I've never spoken to, they liked it, and, you know, so I'm not saying loads has happened, but like it's getting our name out there, and we just want to help. You know, I'm sure in the future it will help grow things. I would say at the moment, between you and me, there's loads of people on holidays and annual leave, so you know, you never know what comes, you know, later in the year or what have you, but it's just given us like newfound confidence, and, you know, and hopefully, like you said, stand us in good stead for the future. So, you know, because we've always believed in what we do, but we've always sat a little bit under the radar, so hopefully this just gives us a little bit more exposure as well. So it's just been a knock-on of that, basically, I would say.
As an award winner, would you recommend Business Awards UK to other businesses?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100% yes. So I'll be honest with you, obviously, fine, like everybody, you Google, you know, and I think I probably Googled family business because there was a reason. Obviously, I wanted something like that rather than just in the recruitment category, because I thought it had more meaning for us. And and obviously fine, you came up, so you're obviously, you know, good like that. But I've liked the approach, you know, the simplicity of it. You know, I know. I'll obviously, I think, I'll be honest with you, one of the reasons what I thought about it was we probably like a couple of weeks before we actually sponsored an award we're part of Hampshire Care Association. So we just sponsored one of their awards for like a care category. And it was obviously, that was an event at a hotel, but I understand what people mean when you say, you know, of course you'd love to win an award, but you don't want to spend thousands and you want the simplicity of it. You know, to me, it doesn't, because people don't worry about that. They want to, if you've won an award, that's the most important thing, isn't it? So I think the concept of business awards is good. You know, obviously, I'm sure there's things, I believe you're quite new, isn't it? So maybe there's things you can enhance in the future, but everybody's really friendly and nice, and it's, you know, it's efficient. But and I believe from what I could see, you know, there's quite a lot of categories there, and it caters for a lot of sectors, so that's really good in itself. And it appealed to me in the sense of, yes, you've got to pay for your award and what have you, and some merchandise, but I'm sure if you were doing a big procession in London or whatever, a fancy hotel, you know, that's going to cost way more. So, and not every business wants to do that, especially when you're small, you know. So I can understand, for me, there would be an appeal to a brand like yourselves. Lots of positive things to say, so thank you.
What would you say is the next big step for Care First UK Recruitment Solutions?
Okay, I mean, again, going back to, because of what's happened, I'm being mindful. I've got to kind of make this business my own, and, you know, and obviously I can never replace my dad's. Okay, it's not about doing that, but it is like finding my feet. So all I would say, the goal for this year is to find your feet, and gradually, you know, we had unfortunately, just before he passed, we had like a new concept or idea that we wanted to grow. Okay, and the main thing with that was we now want to add to our portfolio, as well as healthcare, we want to try and get into education a bit more. Okay, so specifically like schools and nurseries and things like that at the moment. Small scale to begin with, you know, just like nursery staff or TAs or things, you know, I don't know, let's see where it takes us if it goes into teachers, and but that's not on the plan, but certainly to just get our name out there in those kind of fields. You know, the only other thing, and again, we can obviously tinker with it, but we had an idea we might offer like temp to perm in education, because we've heard there's like a need for that. So that's just something we've got to add internally. But, you know, you can understand it's quite easy for me. If somebody wants permanent, I can just offer that. So it doesn't have to be temp to perm. And then, I've had challenges over the years. It's always been something on my mind with, you know, but how can I put it, to potentially, you know, I don't know if it will happen, but to get into like the NHS in the future. But you know, but it's got to work for what we do, because I know for a fact, like, you know, massive corporates, you know, they operate very differently with time scales, and you can see all I've just told you about, you know, recruitment days, fast pace, and I don't know whether that will work, but, you know, if we can get some kind of input, you know, there's a few things that you have to go through first, but I'm mentioning it because somebody put an interesting concept to me probably about 2 weeks ago now, from a marketing company to do with the NHS. So we'll see what happens with that. It's just an idea at the moment, but those are the main things, and just to, you know, try and, as you said, stabilize the ship, get through all of this. What I can say I probably haven't mentioned it, but like massive thanks to obviously all my team, because you can imagine there was probably a month period where I was really struggling, and in the early days, and you need people to step up, and and they really took ownership of that and really supported the business, and just went the extra mile. So I'm really grateful for it's very much a team effort, really. It's as much as I run the business, I'm not somebody that thinks I know it all, or of course I'll pass on any knowledge, but everything about us is, we're very united as a team, and we learn from each other. And I've got, I would say I'm blessed to have, a very diverse team that all have different strengths, and we've learnt a lot from each other over the years, and that's what we'll continue to do. So really grateful for them. They've been amazing. So yeah. So yeah, a few interesting things in the pipeline, but let's see what happens. That's what we're aiming for, and just to keep growing, really, and see what doors open. So
brilliant.
But yeah.
I was going to say, it sounds like you've got a very difficult years in terms of trying to get into a different new sector, and again, like you're saying, talking with the NHS, but it sounds like a challenge that you're more than willing to take on yourself.
Yeah, the NHS might be a long-term thing, and I know, because, yeah, I mean, it's just a few things. Like in the early days, I thought you had to do like legal tenders for recruitment, but I've gathered now you don't have to. So they're promoting like local businesses. So so we'll see. We're just trying something to see if there's any avenues for to get in, because I didn't realize what we do, that you don't actually need to be part of a PSL. So sometimes it might just be at local level, anywhere in the country. So we'll see.
It is. I was going to say, it's great big plans, and I guarantee that you and your team are very excited to start doing them and also start working towards stuff. But yeah, I was going to say, it's been absolutely brilliant to have you today, Adam. It's been very interesting learning about Care First UK Recruitment Solutions. If people want to find yourself, or they want to find Care First UK, where can they find you?
So the website is just www.carefirstuk.co.uk. I think we've got a Facebook page. I think it's just at Care First UK, or just type in Care First UK Recruitment Facebook. And obviously similar on LinkedIn as well. We are trying to do more Twitter and Instagram in the future, but we're not massive on there just yet. But also we've got obviously a career site as well, which is linked. So, and biggest thing I think we've done well with is if people look at our like Google reviews and stuff, that's like kept up to date quite regularly. So, yeah, so that's where we are.
Brilliant. Well, we'll make sure to link those in the description below. Again, thank you so much for joining us today, Adam.
Thank you.